Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be playing the same Tron list. I haven't made any adjustments because I still don't know exactly what I want to do with the sideboard. I know the sideboard still isn't ideal, but we're going to try this out. Also, before we get started, big thank you to Wurmcoil Rose _, for subscribing with Twitch Prime. You're a wonderful human being, and I really appreciate the support. Also, since the last time I've streamed, since the last time I recorded, which was yesterday, in addition to Wurmcoil Rose, we have Eliud Mitzer, MTZR, don't know how to pronounce that, Gage Wins, and Milk and Brood, who all followed my Twitch channel, presumably from YouTube. Thank you. All right, let's get this show on the road and take Tron into a modern league. Seeking that elusive trophy. We've 4-1'd in this league probably like 6 or 7 times now. Mostly with Hammer Time and a few times with Tron. We've only 5-0'd this time around with Tron. Alright, round 1, here we go. We'll play first. Almost. If we had another Tron land, this hand would be good. But we don't. I think we can go to 5 and do better. Oh, it's so close. You know what? Today I'm feeling brave. Don't do this. This is a really good way to just lose. But today, I felt brave. We could draw Maze Mind Tome, we could draw Chromatic Star, we could draw stuff that hopefully keeps us alive versus burn. Oh, man. Excellent. I'm just gonna go for the Ancient Stirrings play, because, like, worst case scenario, we get a forest and we're just delayed by a turn. Nah, not really. The worst case scenario was, like, basically whiff. Not hit a land there. Plus, we could always just draw the mine now. Opponent stomps our face. Wow. It's not Obosh burn either. Opponent hits us for 2. Oh, mutagenic growth, okay. And here I thought we were getting off light for the turn. Play Sphere. Crack Sphere for green. We get another power plant. We have to play a land. Hang on, view sideboard real quick. Does having the extra 2 mana to 9 mana matter when we play Karn? No, because I'm not playing Sky Sovereign or Batter Skull. If I was, playing the Urza's power plant would be correct here. But I'm actually going to play the Forest and Sylvan Scrying. Get an Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Inspiring Vantage, gets in for 1. We go to 12. They play a Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, we untap. We draw Karn. So we can either play Little Karn and get a Trinisphere, or we can play Big Karn and take out that Bone Crusher. Either way, we can start Ancient Stirrings. I think the only thing I would play other than this would be like a Wurmcoil Engine, but we didn't get it. I'm going to take the Chromatic Sphere here. I could take another Tron land and have more mana, but I want to hit another, like, threat, and Chromatic Sphere is how we're going to do that. I think Karn Trinisphere is better. And only slightly, because if my opponent bolts us, we take 2, 6, 9 damage and go to 3. If we play Karn and take out Bone Crusher, I guess they have to attack Karn if they don't have enough damage to just outright kill us. Alright, we're going to try the Big Karn play. Trinisphere might be correct, because my opponent's playing things like Mutagenic Growth that they otherwise would not be able to cast in a time frame that matters. But hopefully between 2 Karns we can lock this up. Okay, opponent has a 4th land, but they have 4 cards in hand, which is very scary, versus your burn opponent. Okay, I have no idea what my opponent's actually playing now. They just gave their Soulscar Mage protection from red. They have more than 1 God's Willing. Is that really better than Lightning Bolt number X, where X is sufficient to kill me? So, like, if that was Lava Spike, we would have died immediately. Like, okay, opponent hits us down to 5. Yeah. Okay. Play Chromatic Sphere. Crack it for green, using our floating mana. We draw on Urza's Mine. Play a tower. So we could wish for Sundering Titan. No. Well, Trinisphere might matter. We need to answer that Soulscar Mage. Could get a Ballista. I guess I'm going to uptick on my opponent's hand and see what happens. Okay, they had a Boros Charm. Thank goodness we did that then. Play Karn. Wish. And we have to get Walking Ballista. Play at X3. This gives us a blocker if they top deck a haste creature, as well as lets us kill this now. Alright, cool. Opponent concedes. So versus red-white dudes and protection spells and burn, we're bringing in Weather the Storm, we're bringing in Spatial Contortion. Spatial Contortion, interestingly enough, your opponent cannot God's Willing through, because they can't name colorless. We might actually need Wilt here. It makes me slightly uncomfortable, but I guess it cycles in the worst case scenario. Ulamog's probably a little bit slow, so we're going to cut an Ulamog. Same with Oblivion Stone. We have 2 Ugins, and Oblivion Stone is also a permanent board wipe that costs 8 mana, but we can split it up amongst 2 turns. And I need to cut one other card. I guess we'll cut the other Ulamog. Okay. If I get Damping Sphered, I'm going to feel really bad, but I don't know what my opponent's playing, and I'm not sure they would play Damping Sphere, because they have dudes with prowess, and they're trying to cast a bunch of stuff every turn. So this hand's not keepable. We'll mulligan. This hand might technically be keepable. I'm going to go to 5. Alright. We'll keep. Put back Sanctum. And this hand kind of depends on how good the Stirrings is. We either put back Stirrings or we put back Scrying. I guess we put back Stirrings. We'll see if that's right or wrong. So what I've committed to here is a turn 4 Tron. Stirrings, I don't think changes the turn we play it on. It's just less consistent. Okay, start map. Pass the turn. But it could potentially get us a threat. Okay, opponent plays an Arid Mesa. Attacks for 1. Hits us to 19. Cracks Arid Mesa, plays it untapped. Plays the Sacred Foundry untapped, that is, into a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Interesting. Okay, play a second tower. Crack and get a power plant. So Dreadhorde Arcanist is pretty good, especially when you're flashing back lightning bolts. Kind of scared that my opponent hasn't played a land yet. Okay, they attack for 3. They must not have any non-creature spells. So play Power Plant, play Sphere. Crack Sphere for green. And I'm really, and I mean really tempted to go get Blast Zone and just wipe the board here. The Tron has to be better, right? So Sylvan Scrying, get Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent top decks a 3rd land. Cleansing Wildfire, hitting Power Plant. Get a Forest. I don't think Burn should be playing this card. I don't think Burn should be playing this card either. Could you imagine if those were both Lightning Bolts? I mean, we're still, like, in trouble, because Dreadhorde Arcanist giving the prowess triggers here matters a lot. Defiant Strike I actually kind of like, because with Dreadhorde Arcanist, it's actually card advantage. We drew Karn. I don't think there's anything we can actually get. I mean, I guess we could get a Spatial Contortion off of a Ancient Stirrings. Should have got that Blast Zone, damn it. They were dead to any spell, and my opponent just drew 3 cards. 2 off of Defiant Strike and 1 for turn. Yeah, I guess we have to Ancient Stirrings for Spatial Contortion, and that has to somehow be enough. Blast Zone, but it's too late. Alright. Cool. Opponent got us. I doubt we want Wilt, so hopefully we don't. Alright, we'll play first. Yeah. Turn 3 Tron into big walking ballista. Follow it up with an Ugin. Seems good. Redundant maps, so we can get around, hopefully, a cleansing wildfire. Especially with redundant mines. So start mine, play map. Pass the turn. So obvious good top decks here would be Karn Liberated, Karn Great Creator. Gonna start Swift Spear. Hits us for 1. Draw Chromatic Sphere, play Power Plant, grab Tower. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swift Spear into a Defiant Strike. Hits us for 5. We untap and draw Karn Great Creator. So we're definitely going with the Trinisphere play here. Play Karn. Wish. Grab Trinisphere. Play the old 3-ball. Pass the turn. My opponent doesn't have a land. They're going to have a bad time. If they have a land and cheap artifact destruction, they're fine. They could still race. If they just cast, like, a dude here, though, Ugin is going to make them sad. Alright. The world's most expensive Defiant Strike allows them to kill Karn and hit us for 2. So if I didn't have Ugin here, I could play map and tutor up Blast Zone. Don't need the Sylvan Scrying, so Urza's mine. Play Ugin. Play map. Oh no, never mind. Trinisphere and all that. I know that. I just misclicked. I meant to click the Ugin opponent. Don't judge me for not reading my own cards. Alright. Opponent untaps, plays a land. 3 white mana for a Skyclave Apparition. Exiling Trinisphere. Alright then. That is mildly concerning. But opponent concedes because they can't beat an active Ugin, and we win the match. Alright. See you guys in round 2. It was a very interesting burn deck. I've not seen a Boros aggro, I guess is what that would be, in Modern, that didn't have like a gimmick. Because that was just like straight up fair dudes, protection spells, and burn. Which is a more fair deck than regular burn. But also it wasn't like landfall aggro or something crazy like that, you know? Alright. I'll play first. It's turn 4 Tron. And my opponent revealed Lurrus of the Dream Den. This hand does get slightly wrecked by Thoughtseize. This is probably Rakdos Lurrus. Yeah, I'm going to 6. I mean, the Blast Zone's actually kind of handy here. I'm going to keep this off of the strength of the Blast Zone. We're going to see how this goes. Getting a little wild here with my keeps. Starters is mine. Play map. We're going to try and high roll here, because if we don't draw another Tron piece, we can just Chromatic Sphere into Ancient Stirrings next turn. Okay. Opponent fetches, shocks, plays a Swift Spear, hits us for 1, we go to 19, we untap, draw a second map, play another mine, play Sphere, crack it for green, draw a Power Plant, which is nice, Ancient Stirrings, grab ourselves an Ugin, rest of the bottom, pass the turn so we can play Power Plant, search up Tower, and play a new Expedition map. Okay, second Swift Spear. Swift Spear Tron! We get hit for 3. Draw Walking Ballista, which doesn't change what we do here. Play Power Plant. Tutor up Tower. The nice thing about this is if we get Ghost Quartered or Field of Ruined or whatever, our backup plan is just play and activate Blast Zone. Play Expedition map. Alright, pass the turn. Ah, I suspect we take a lot of damage this turn. My opponent started with a cantrip. Alright, they're gonna Thoughtseize. Gotta take Ugin, I think. And they play a Seal of Fire. That's 14 damage. Okay, well, we untap and draw a Forest. Play a Blast Zone. Pass the turn. No reason not to crack this during combat. Okay, opponent goes to combat, attacks. Blow up the dorks. And our map. They didn't even crack Seal of Fire. That's really confusing, actually. Alright, we top deck Karn, which is pretty great. So we could play Karn for... Hang on, we have 9 mana. Play Karn for 4, go to 5. Play Walking Ballista on 2 and play Trinisphere, I guess? No. Because if my opponent has removal, then we just die to Scourge. I think we need to get Ensnaring Bridge and play Walking Ballista. And then my opponent has to have removal for both Ballista and Bridge. Which isn't impossible, because they could have, like, Kolaghan's Command that would just really ruin our day. Play Tower. Play Karn. Go ahead and Wish. Let's get Ensnaring Bridge. Play Bridge. Play Ballista. Pass the turn. They have a Fatal Push. Alright, well, we didn't crack it in response. So really hoping they don't have a Kolaghan's Command. But it plays a Soulscar Mage. And a second Scourge. Okay. We untap. We draw Karn Liberated. Play Forest. Play Big Karn. Take out a Blood Crypt. Wish for Trinisphere. Because they can either top deck a land, or they can top deck a spell. And now they have to do both before they're allowed to do anything else. Alright. So we should be safe, at least for a small amount of time. Opponent puts Luris in their hand, sure. So start with an Ancient Stirrings. Get a new Karn Great Creator, which seems great. Take Luris from their hand. And second Karn. First Karn animating our artifacts actually hurts us. So play a new Karn. We're gonna wish for Liquimetal Coating. Play Liquimetal Coating. Pass the turn. Now Liquimetal Coating actually buys us a turn, even if they do draw a Kolaghan's Command, because they would have to command to destroy Ensnaring Bridge on our turn, which gives us a turn to react still. We can still draw a, like, alright, cool. I was gonna say Ugin or O-Stone or something, but we got there! Alright, Weather the Storm in. I think we bring in Veil of Summer as well. Ow, I just strained my hand. I'm gonna drop an Ulamog and Walking Ballista, and gonna go down, I guess our other Ulamog too. O-Stone not as good, but still okay, so I'm gonna drop one, keep the other. I don't think they... I've checked this multiple times now, and I'm pretty sure they don't run anything that we need Wilt for. Yeah, they don't. Okay. So we'll run it back like this. Okay. It's turn 3 Tron, so we'll keep. Oh wait, but we're in that special scenario where our opponent has hand hate. We're going to get royally screwed. I think it's fine, because we have 2 backup land tutors. And so that makes, like, drawing Chromatic Sphere or Star or another map or tower, like, all of those are good. I think from this position, even though this hand is risky, because they could just snag map and we could draw nothing, I think that's actually unlikely. It's not unlikely that they snag map, it's unlikely that we draw nothing from this position. It also means they would not be starting with an aggressive creature of some kind if they did. No shock? No shock. What deck are you playing, sir? Alright, we draw Wurmcoil, which is excellent, because that gives us something to do with our Tron mana on the turn that we assemble Tron, so... Really surprised my opponent didn't shock there. They play a Sunbaked Canyon. The fact that they're still playing Baubles means they're probably not playing a Stony Silence. Ingrass Rampage. I guess that's fair versus our deck. Yeah, but you know what else is fair? Calculated. Absolutely. Never didn't always have it. I was about to say, what the hell kind of hand did our opponent keep? Yeah, we draw a Chromatic Star, which we'll play Wurmcoil. I'm going to play out the Chromatic Star, because if my opponent has another Ingrass Rampage, it makes Ingrass Rampage hilariously bad. I mean, they can just say, hey, sack a creature instead, but it also lets us Sylvan Scrying for another tower and play Ugin next turn. Opponent sacks Sunbaked Canyon to draw a card. Plays a Blackcleave Cliffs. Opponent plays a second Scourge. Well, I'm not sorry for what I'm about to do. We could just attack, and they would lose their guys based on gaining life alone, but why do that when you can do something so much meaner? So, Sylvan Scrying, get a tower, play a tower. Play an Ugin. -2. And the game is over. Just like we drew it up. Opponent had disruption, so we just had to top deck it. It's just so rude. Like, we had so many good top decks from that position, so it's not like we got the best one, so that was lucky, but like, if we top deck Sphere, if we top deck Star, if we top deck another map, if we top deck Tower, like, all of those were good. If we top deck Maze Mind Tome, what is that, 20 cards? We could top deck literally a third of our deck. 33% chance of just getting right back on track. That's pretty damn good. Especially in a game with variance as wide as Magic's. It's not like we had to top deck a Singleton or a single one of a 4 of or something like that. I'm gonna keep it. We can go six cards deep looking for a map or a tower, so. And like, our backup plan is not that bad. When it starts Inquisition, they should probably take Chromatic Star, because that takes us off of our best best running top decks and stuff, but they don't. They take Ancient Stirrings. Ancient Stirrings is a more powerful card, but had I looked at this hand, I probably would have taken the Star, because that forces my opponent to be on a turn 4 Tron at minimum. I mean, we can't play Ugin before turn 4. Opponent plays a Dark Slick Shores after opting. Inquisitions again. That's really lucky, because that was like, we had to top deck. I mean, I guess we have a lot of decent top decks, right? That are still Inquisitionable, but like, I don't know, that seemed a little suspicious. Let's draw an extra card because we're not doing anything else. Okay, we draw Karn Great Creator. So life is good, because now we have something to play on Tron turn. Hit me with that third Inquisition, bro. You don't know what I top decked. Snapcaster that Inquisition. Thassa's Oracle, huh? Play a Watery Grave untapped into a Relic of Progenitus. Okay. Well, we'll go from the backup plan to the primary plan. We'll hit the Watery Graves. They're slightly higher value because my opponent could be playing things like Drowned Catacomb. So my opponent is playing what looks like Dimir Inverter in Modern. I mean, they're in the 2 wins bracket. But, like, pretty sure this is going to ruin their day. They are playing Drowned Catacomb. Interesting. So, exile a card from our opponent's hand. We get a Fatal Push. Great Creator here is absolutely the way to go. Go ahead and Wish. Liquid Metal Coating for sure here. We have a redundant Karn Great Creator, so. Alright, we got there. Dimir Inverter. Not a card, not a deck I've seen in Modern, like, at all, actually. So I'm going to bring in Veil of Summer. It's not like we're going to get aggroed out, so I don't need Weather the Storm. But I am going to bring in Wilt. I'm going to drop in Ulamog. I don't think I need Ballista here. Thragtusk seems kind of bad, and Wurmcoil is like also medium. I'm going to try it like this. Alright, well this hand's not keepable. If there was a sphere or a star in this hand, I'd consider it. Going to 5. As far as hands of 5 go, this one's pretty bad. But versus a deck that's as Thoughtseize heavy as Dimir Inverter, I suspect is. This is also not good. I'm going to 4. Gross. Alright. Yeah. Let's do it. I suspect we're going to get absolutely wrecked here. And we're probably going to need Game 3 in order to win this, so I'm glad we got Game 1. Hey, my opponent started a card that isn't a Thoughtseize. And we top deck a Tron land. It's exactly like we drew it up. Once again, we have so many good top decks. Because it just... I don't like it. I mean, obviously I like it, because it helps, but... Alright, I know my opponent has a counter here. There's like no way they don't. But there's also no way that we're not casting a Sylvan Scrying when we have a chance on curve. Mana Leak? Oh, Remand. Okay. Remand actually about as bad as Mana Leak here, because we don't have any other green sources. Yes, gotta keep that Chromatic Sphere out of Tron's graveyard. It might have a Hooting Mandrills. Actually having it in exile is... there you go. Play Blast Zone, because that might matter. Having the Chromatic Sphere in our exile zone is technically better than our graveyard. Not by much, but there is some weird edge case where I could imagine us needing to wish for an artifact that we main deck. Maybe not a Chromatic Sphere or Star, but I guess it is technically possible. So what are we looking for? That? I know my opponent absolutely has to have a counterspell. I can't just not play stuff forever. Well, my opponent has 6 cards in hand after manipulating their top deck. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass and I'm going to see if I can draw like a forest. Okay, they crack Omen of the Sea to go scrying. Because if I can hit a forest and I can get up to 9 mana with 1 green, I can protect an Ugin the Spirit Dragon with Veil of Summer. Okay. They cling to dust their own Omen. They opt. Are they just trying to hit lands? Probably. Okay. So pass to our turn. We draw Ancient Stirrings. Alright, well. We're going to try and land this. I'm 100% sure this gets countered, but I can't win the game by not playing spells. Yeah, I think they're actually just playing the Pioneered list, because I haven't seen any non-Pioneer legal cards. Except the fetch lands. Okay, opponent plays a Darkslick Shores, we untap. Draw another mine, play a mine, pass the turn. I have no idea if Blast Zone should be on 1 or 2, or 4, or whatever. Okay, opponent cracks a relic, draws another card, plays another land, tapped. We untap. Kind of sad I took Ulamog out, actually. Play Sphere. Crack Sphere for green. Draw another Urza's Mine. Play an Ancient Stirrings. Opponent remands. Yeah, that's fine. Play an Urza's Mine. That's the turn. Opponent has drawn, like, 9 cards? Something like that. Play an Omen. Apparently my opponent kept a hand that was also, like, just interaction, no combo. Or they're getting really unlucky, and they have, like, an inverter in hand, and they're just trying to find a way to... They're spreading seas on our tower. Okay. We untap. Draw a tower! Okay, Tron Luck, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Like, don't get me wrong. I love it. But I do need a way to win the game. My opponent is just casting Preordains, or I guess Deliberates, effectively. They've gone through almost half of their deck now. They're only down to 34 cards in library. It is turn 9. Inquisition. I guess they take Veil? Yep. Alright, Inverter of Truth. Exile their library, put Remand and Inquisition back. Presumably they play Thassa's Oracle and they were waiting till they had like Remand back up or something. Yeah, okay. Cool. Could look at my opponent's deck, but I'm not sure that I care what's in it. Yeah, I don't think we make any adjustments. I think we just don't mull to 3 or 4 or whatever happened. Still interesting that we assembled Tron with redundant pieces. Okay, this hand, no. If we get even a single other land, this hand is good. But, alright. I'm going to try and keep this. We're going to put back Sanctum, and I think I have to put back Scrying. So start Forest, play Ancient Stirrings, take a Wurmcoil Engine. I'm not confident on my mulligan decisions now. When it starts Polluted Delta, we untap and draw a power plant, which is excellent. Play mine, pass the turn. I mean, if we just top deck Tron with Veil of Summer backup, that's amazing. Opponent plays a River of Tears. So play power plant, play star, crack star for green. Second Veil of Summer. Okay. I mean, that's kind of nice. If they try and hit us with an Inquisition, we can blow one to counter and still have one to protect, like a Karn or a Wurmcoil or whatever we're going to do here. Probably Karn. Okay, opponent flashes in an Omen of the Sea. I probably should restart the client to see if I can mitigate some of this lag. Opponent untaps. Plays a Drowned Catacomb. We untap. Tower. One time. Ugin. Okay. Alright, pass. I am sort of tempted to Veil of Summer just to draw a card, but something tells me that's bad. I should wait for hand hate of some kind. And of course, there's no guarantee that that would happen, but... Opponent's going to play Inverter, so it looks like they have the 2-turn. Oh, that's not black. Ugh. Freaking devoid. These mechanics that don't exist anywhere else. Well, it's not like we have a Nevermore, so I can't stop my opponent from playing Thassa's Oracle. I don't have discard in the stack of any kind. So I think we just got comboed because we didn't draw Tron. Because, like, even, well, I can't really answer Inverter, but even if I could, it's not like I could really do anything about the Oracle, which is what matters. I guess I could stop them from... No, that doesn't work. I was going to say I could play Ugin if I top deck a tower. I could play Ugin, take out their Omens, but they're going to have no cards in deck. So even if I could answer... yeah, even if I could answer... What is it? Thassa's Oracle. In response, they'll have 0 cards in library, which means their devotion is 0 and they have 0 cards, so we lose. If I had a Shriekhorn in my library right now, I could kill my opponent. Or Shriekhorn in my sideboard. Yeah, nothing here matters. We'll just get a Trinisphere, and I guess we'll make him show it to us, but they've got it. Oh, okay, they had Jace. Still wouldn't really do anything, but that was super lame. We had bad luck in game 2, because I think if we had a proactive hand, we probably could have beaten our opponent's counters. From how many spells they were casting, they were pretty low on mana early on in that game. And then, of course, game 3 we just got unlucky. But sometimes that's how it happens. So, moving on to the next round. Really wish this was a forest. I would really consider keeping this, but I'm going to mulligan. This hand is way worse. I'm going to go to 5. Alright, let's do it. Put back a forest, and put back a tower. Start power plant star. Oh, great. It's Amulet. Singleton Walking Ballista one time. Alright. Crack Sphere for green. Draw Karn. Karn is good. Play Mine. Play Star. Crack Star for green. Draw Star. Play Star. Yeah, hang on. What am I doing? I don't want to concede. Alright, hang on. And we're back. Alright. And apparently lagging. Alright. Can I pass priority now, please? Please? Okay, there we go. Alright. When it floats a colorless, plays a tap line. At least they don't have an amulet here, because if they had an amulet with this hand, I've got a feeling this hand would be nuts. They explore into a ghost quarter. See if they crack it immediately or not. They do. Okay. Get a forest. Go to main. Crack for green. Play tower. Okay. So our opponent has a crumbling vestige in hand, and that's all we know. Play Dryad of the Elysian Grove and a Cavern on Giant. We really need to top deck Mine or hit like an Ancient Stirrings into a Mine so we can Karn and take their bounce land, which I think is the only way we're going to keep them off of mana this game. Okay, we draw a Wurmcoil, play Tower, play Karn, Wish with Karn. I guess we could take a Walking Ballista. There's not a lot that actually helps here, because Karn's going to die, so we can't just Liquid Metal Coating and start blowing up lands, unfortunately. I guess we take an Ensnaring Bridge, because that can prevent a Titan from attacking. And that's something that's better to do on next turn than... I mean, we could still Valakut ourselves. We could still get Valakutted to death, right? But, like, at least they wouldn't be able to attack to get additional Titan triggers. Okay, opponent plays an Azusa. Attacks Karn, attacks us. Sure. Okay, we untap, we had an Ancient Stirrings. Urza's Mine, please. There it is. Rest of the bottom. Play Urza's Mine. Big Karn. Nuke the bounce land. Play Ensnaring Bridge. All of their creatures can still currently attack. But at least they can't cast Primeval Titan. So, ha! Alright. Opponent attacks Karn, kills Karn, and hits us for 2. But we can cast anything we can top deck, including a map. Play Expedition map. Tutor up. I guess Blast Zone. I don't want to put Blast Zone on 3, though. I mean, I do, but I don't. I think I just get a Sanctum of Ugin here. Yeah. So we'll play a Sanctum of Ugin. Play Wurmcoil Engine. Pass. Now, Wurmcoil Engine's a little awkward because it can't attack. But I think I want Sanctum of Ugin because that way if I draw a Walking Ballista or if I draw anything else that's big and colorless, we can just tutor up Ulamog and end this game. Play Maze Mind Tome. Let's draw an extra card. Okay, it's a sphere. Play Sphere. Pass the turn. Now nobody can attack. They play another Cavern on Giant. Sure. Crack Sphere for green. We get an Ancient Stirring. Sure. Untap. We draw O-Stone. Ancient Stirring. There's the Walking Ballista. Rest of the bottom. Play an absolutely massive Walking Ballista. I will sack Sanctum. Go and get Ulamog. Take out all of the miscellaneous creatures here. Now we'll scry. Sylvan Scrying to the bottom. Pass the turn. So my opponent can't just, like, Amulet, Bounce Land, crazy combo. I mean, they can go and get, like, if they have an Amulet and they play a Bounce Land, they could potentially get the mana to cast Titan, but we'd follow that up with an Ulamog, so we'd probably get them there. I do want Spatial Contortion versus our opponent's deck. Wilt is fine, too, because it can kill Dryad and it can kill Amulet. I'm going to go down a Thragtusk and a Wurmcoil. And I think a Walking... Well, no, Walking Ballista is actually kind of decent. I almost never bring in the other Walking Ballista, though I guess here I should. I'm going to go down an Ulamog. I like Ugin. I'm going to go down a Tome, actually. It's the first time I've had to go down a Tome. but I think that's correct here. I mean, this is 3 looks at a mine in addition to our natural draws. I'm actually going to keep this. It's possible my opponent kills me before we even get to scry with Maze Mine Tome, basically. Okay. Draw Walking Ballista. If my opponent does not go on a massive landfall chain next turn, I will Walking Ballista down Soccer Tribe Scout. They play a Cavern. They put a Gemstone Mine onto the battlefield. Play a Dryad. And they play a Bounce Land. Okay, so next turn they can play 2 lands if they've got them. So killing the Soccer Tribe Scout actually doesn't do anything as far as... I mean, like, it probably does. It might prevent some more absurd combo, right? But they're already winning at the point that matters. So, we're playing Tower. We can either Maze Mine Tome or we can Ancient Stirrings. Ancient Stirrings gives us the most possible looks at a Urza's Mine, so that's what we're going to do. Sack for green, draw a card, Ancient Stirrings. There's a power plant and a map, but no mine. So take map, rest of the bottom. Pass the turn. And we didn't get it. We could still technically top deck it, but if my opponent has land, prime time, I think it's game over. Which we know they're holding a land. There's a land, there's a land. Summoner's Pact. Primeval Titan. Bounce Land Vesuva. Vesuva Ghost Quarter? Picking up their normal Ghost Quarter. Oh, okay, so they're going to Ghost Quarters now. Alright, then we have no chance of winning. Okay. Yeah, no further adjustments. We'll just run it back. That was kind of an unfortunate we're on the draw situation. We'll play first. Alright. No payoff Tron currently. So, since my opponent is not playing Hand Hate, and we're not holding a threat, instead of going on the Expedition map line, we're going on the Sylvan Scrying line. And the reason behind that is, this gives us additional draws to draw Bomb while we're in the process of tutoring up the last Tron land. Opponent starts Wooded Foothills. The only way I would not cast a Sylvan Scrying next turn is if this is a Soccer Tribe Scout and I top deck a Walking Ballista. Okay, it plays an Amulet of Vigor. We untap and draw Karn, so there's the bomb. Sack star for green, draw a card. Another star. Play a tower. Sylvan Scrying. Get a mine. Pass the turn. So, provided my opponent does not have Ghost Quarter and we assemble Tron, we will play Karn, and I guess it depends on what they play out here is what we downtick on. Obviously, bounce lands like pretty high priority targets, but depending on the setup, and I don't know all of the cards that they run off the top of my head, but depending on what creatures or like situation they get into, we might hit Amulet, we might hit their land. And they're in the tank right now because they know we're going to assemble Tron. They don't have Ghost Quarter, because if they did, they probably would just play it. Which means they're trying to find a setup right now that gives them the best chance against whatever we play. Which is probably a Karn. Okay. So, play Karn. Against a single mana untapped land, I'm absolutely going to hit Amulet here. There's no reason to hit a land here. Because now their best play is like untapped land into an Asuza or something like that. Or a Dryad, I think. But we have an active Karn, and Ugin is coming in to ruin our opponent's day as well. 2 forests. Alright. I guess that makes sense, because they play Field now. We draw Sanctum, which is nice. Uptick on my opponent's hand. We get a Summoner's Pact. Play Sanctum. Play Ugin. Sweet. Karn, Ugin, Super Friends. Alright, we're 3-1 going into round 5. I would love to play first. Not a hand I want to keep, so mulligan. Okay. Seems good. We'll keep. I'm going to put back Walking Ballista, I think. Start Power Plant map. Pass the turn. I'm going to play a Spire Bluff Canal. We draw Sylvan Scrying, play Tower, pass the turn. I suppose my opponent is probably on Red-Blue Blitz. This is an opt. It's either Red-Blue Blitz or Red-Blue Storm. And we're going to find out very quickly what it is. Okay, it's Blitz. Opponent plays a Swift Spear and attacks us for 1. See if they cast anything else. Okay. Light up the stage. Alright. It's one of the few things that causes them not to tap out pre-combat. Okay. Well. Let's get that Urza's Mine. And Trinisphere should absolutely wreck our opponent's day, so play Urza's Mine. Play Karn. Wish. And get Trinisphere. Play Trinisphere. Pass the turn. Because now my opponent has to have a land, and they can only play one thing, which means they will never cast a Stormwing entity, ever. Okay, opponent plays a Spire Bluff Canal. 3 mana Lightning Bolt. That Puncturing Blast never looked so good. Backup Karn. Just in time. Play a Forest. I think I just run out Wurmcoil. Yeah, because Karn actually is a pretty high risk of dying. So play Wurmcoil. Pass the turn. Wurmcoil is a card I don't think they even have a main deck answer to. I think their main deck answer to Wurmcoil is kill their opponent before their opponent casts Wurmcoil. Opponent plays a Steam Vents tapped and passes. We untap. Draw Chromatic Star. So go to combat. Attack for 6. No blocks. Okay. Play Karn. Wish with Karn. And we'll get a Sundering Titan. That seems particularly mean. Then we'll Sylvan Scrying. Get another tower. Pass the turn. I don't even think I played a land that turn. That was pretty bad. So bring in Weather the Storms and Spatial Contortion. Given the nature of our opponent's deck, they're not running Damping Sphere. Like, almost 100%. We're going to cut an Ulamog because it's a little bit slow, and an Oblivion Stone. Because while Oblivion's... Oops, I still have 61 cards in my deck. We'll cut the other Ulamog. I might regret that. Sometimes the double permanent exile you actually need to win. So just straight cutting all Ulamogs here is not correct, but I put myself on a time crunch because I'm dumb. So, alright. This hand actually looks pretty good. We've got some decent redraw power here. I'm going to put back Sphere because I don't think we need both. Turn 1, I'm going to play Sphere. Turn 2, unless I draw Sylvan Scrying, I'm going to play Maze Mind Tome and leave Sphere on board. Or Star, I mean. Excuse me. Players is mine. Play Star. Pass the turn. But it goes to combat. Attacks for 1. Looks like they kept a light up the stage hand. Second Soul Scar. No second land. Okay. Play an Urza's Tower. Play a Maze Mind Tome. Scry. Thragtusk is nice, but we don't need it. We need Tron. Okay. F6 through our opponent's turn because we're not doing anything. Opponent does find a second land, which is bad for us because that means the remaining 5 cards in my opponent's hand are not lands. So they hit an Urza's Tower with Cleansing Wildfire, meaning we get a forest. Alright. So we're looking for Blast Zone. Kind of. Ancient Stirrings. Yeah, Stirrings is good here. Cast an Ancient Stirring. Karn Liberated Forest. I'll take the Spatial Contortion. Rest of the bottom. Play an Urza's Mine. Crack for green because now we do have a basic, so we can just draw another forest. Spatial Contortion, killing a Soul Scar Mage. So we're going to be able to play Karn and Wish for a Trinisphere, which is good. That Spatial Contortion actually was kind of clutch, because we needed anything that can interact with our opponent right now. Opponent attacks for 2, bolting us pre-combat. We draw a Thragtusk. Good to see a Thragtusk. Definitely didn't expect you. Play Karn. Okay, opponent has a Spell Pierce. We're going to go ahead and scry. Map to the bottom. We pretty desperately just need a land, because I don't think our opponent can do anything about a Thragtusk. Not unless they're playing Remand, which I don't think they would be. Like, Blitz is just usually straight proactive, unless they have sideboard stuff like Spell Pierce where they have to be reactive. Lava Dart threatens a lot of prowess here, but my opponent likely does not have more lands. Okay, they drew another light up the stage. There's the lands. Land, Bolt, Lava Dart kills us. Oh, Dart kills us too. Okay. I think I missed a scry on the... no, I didn't miss a scry. I missed an opportunity to scry. But I didn't miss an overall number of scries, so I don't think there was anything I could have done there. Opponent just got really lucky. And just happened to have Xaxes there. Yeah, no adjustments. We'll run it back. Play first. This is kind of tempting. I think we can do better, though. Opponent kept 7. This hand is slow. This is like turn 4 Tron maximum speed. I think if one of these stirrings was a scrying, I would keep. Yeah, I'm gonna go to 4. Or mulligan to 5, I guess. Okay, if I keep this hand, I have to put back a map, and I have to put back Karn. I don't really like this, but I think a lot of our 4s are way worse. So now the question is, do we start Star for scrying, or do we start map? I think we start Star. So Star gives us the most additional redraws to find a different Tron piece than mine. Also, playing Star on 1, scrying on turn 2, make sure that we have 3 lands to play map and activate it on turn 3. So I think that's additionally the most efficient usage of our mana, as well as optimal number of cards drawn. So we're going to do it that way. We will have to get a little bit lucky to win this one. I'm going to start Spire Bluff Canal into a Soulscar Mage. We untap. Draw an Ancient Stirrings. Sack for green, draw a card. Power Plant. Perfect. Sylvan Scrying, let's get a tower. Pass the turn. If I have to Expedition Map for a Forest or a Blast Zone, I will. Okay, opponent shocks the Steam Vents. Gets in for 1. Lights up the stage. They hit Lava Dart and Steam Vents. We untap. We draw an Expedition Map. Play a tower. Play map. And map. So we're going to tutor up Forest and Blast Zone, I think. We might tutor up another tower. I guess it is possible. I suspect my opponent is playing this way because they do have a Spell Pierce. So one of the lands we're tutoring up is a Forest regardless. But whether we get Blast Zone or we get... what's it called? Another tower or a Sanctum of Ugin, I guess depends on what our opponent does here. Because they could have a Cleansing Wildfire. And if they do, then we're just going to get redundant Tron pieces. Okay, they dart us. They light up the stage again. This time they hit Cleansing Wildfire. But they played a land this turn. They did not play out the Swift Spear. Okay. So they either are aware of Blast Zone here, or they know, or they have Spell Pierce. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Forest, untap. We're leaving this map open because I have a suspicion that my opponent is going to Cleansing Wildfire, and if they hit something other than mine, we need to be able to tutor up a redundant Tron piece. Okay, guess we'll take a Maze Mind Tome, rest of the bottom. Sphere has the opportunity to, like, draw something right now, but I'm just going to draw an extra card with Maze Mind Tome here. Okay, Wurmcoil Engine. Wurmcoil Engine is something we can play next turn through a Spell Pierce, no problem, but our opponent will probably have trouble answering. I wouldn't doubt they just like Swift Spear Cleansing Wildfire here. Okay, they're going to hit the tower. So crack map. Get a tower. The only way that goes wrong is if my opponent has a surgical extraction, which they could be playing, and that would really suck. I just realized this is slightly better than Ghost Quarter because it makes the land enter the battlefield tapped, where Ghost Quarter does not. Ghost Quarter lets it come in untapped. Okay, opponent hits us for 4. We untap. Get a Sylvan Scrying. Play a tower. Play Wurmcoil. Yeah, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to draw a card on my opponent's end step, I think. Yeah, I could have Sylvan Scrying there to get an additional tower, but if I did that, my opponent would see, like... They would probably be like, oh, okay, then we'll hit a different Tron land and see if we can, you know, if they have another Cleansing Wildfire, I think that's what they would do. Okay, opponent cracks Arid Mesa. Or a Mountain. Manamorphose. Grow the Dorks. This also, if they don't have another Cleansing Wildfire, means we could tutor up and activate a Blast Zone next turn if we don't draw or scry into anything good. Another Cleansing Wildfire on the tower. Okay. So we get another Forest. Tron temporarily offline. We still have a massive life-linking threat, though. Okay, opponent goes to combat, no attacks. Activate Maze Mind Tome, draw a card. A map, okay? Untap. Just gonna scry this time. Spatial Contortion. I'm gonna leave on top. So let's Sylvan Scrying for a tower. I mean, maybe Blast Zone is just better. Yeah, it makes it awkward for him. Blow up the 1-drops. I want to deal damage directly to them because then we're making them race. They could have 2 bolts here to kill Wurmcoil, at which point Spatial Contortion would not have killed anything. Oh, they're just shrinking Wurmcoil unless they have another bolt. Then they could kill him. Burst Lightning. They're going to shrink it into a 1/1. I mean, like, this is the teeny tiniest Wurmcoil that's ever existed. In that case, it might be better to leave it back for blocks. They don't have any, what's it called? They don't have any flying creatures. No, they do. They have Sprite Dragon. Okay, another Soul Scar. Yeah, technically not blast zoning on my opponent's turn is a punt, but opponent Lava Darts us directly to play a Stormwing entity. They go scrying. They leave 1 card on top and put the other on the bottom. And then they pass. We untap. Yeah, let's scry. We're going to need to do something else with our mana this turn, so... Gain 4 life. Scry. We find a Chromatic Star. I don't think we need that, so I'm putting it on the bottom. We draw Karn. Play map. Crack map for tower. Play tower. Play Karn. Wish. And I'm gonna get a Trinisphere here. And I'm not gonna cast it. Not attacking. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna see if they'll bolt on our end step. If they do, I will Spatial Contortion to kill Stormwing Entity in response. Because they do not have a Lava Dart in the grave, so they don't have anything that they can flash back on no mana, or unless they're holding a Mutagenic Growth, in which case we are preventing them from responding. So kill Stormwing Entity. Nice. Yeah. Our opponent has been representing Spell Pierce this entire game, and if I cast Trinisphere, we would have gotten to Spell Pierced, we would have lost our entire board, or potentially just died next turn. So eliminating the biggest threat there was absolutely the play. This rusted over Wurmcoil engine is actually pulling insane, like, double duty right now. Because it's either going to force our opponent to, like, kill it because we have... Okay, they have Brazen Borrower and Spell Pierce. I almost knocked my coffee cup over. That was bad. So they play a Stormwing Entity. But this Wurmcoil having Death Touch has never been more relevant right now. Alright, opponent passes. We draw another Wurmcoil engine. Okay, play Sanctum. We're gonna be mean. Wish. Yes, we will use Karn Great Creator's ability. We're gonna get Sundering Titan, because that lets us sack Sanctum for Ulamog, or anything really at this point is good. I don't know if I want a third Wurmcoil engine. I guess we could play 2 Wurmcoil engines next turn, and that's pretty sweet. Walking Ballista is better, though, for utility. So, when Sundering Titan enters, we need to float mana, because we have to sack a forest here. And take out one of our opponent's 2 remaining lands, and land a Trinosphere. Now, they can't cast anything, and attack for 1 to gain life. Oh, this is so mean. What are you gonna do, opponent? I mean, you can attack and kill Karn, but you're gonna have a bad time. Yeah, our opponent is lost. There's nothing they can do at this point. Alright, Karn down, we untap. Draw Sylvan Scrying, play Urza's Mine. We can play Walking Ballista on 2, kill Soulscar Mage, and play a new Wurmcoil engine. I mean, like, yeah, I'm down. Play Walking Ballista. X2. Ping Soulscar. Ping Soulscar. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 8. I might have to clickbait title this one, because this is the legendary 1/1 Wurmcoil engine. 4/1. Oh, man. Wurmcoil engine is just too strong. Even Wurmcoil engine as a 1/1 is too strong, because it prevented our opponent from attacking for like 12 turns, it felt like. Okay. So, we'll open up our treasure chest, we'll do a quick recap, and then I gotta slam this through the auto-editor and get it out. Alright, treasure chest number 1, we get 5 play points in Evershrike and an Orzhov Pontiff. Nothing there. Treasure chest number 2, we have 125 play points and a Snapcaster Mage. Hoo boy. So that's 12.5 tickets worth of value. Snapcaster Mage. Innistrad Snapcaster Mage is only 3.5 tickets now. What has the world come to? I bought mine at 20 forever ago. It's ridiculous. But still, that's an amazing treasure chest. 5 play points, Inscription of Abundance, and Mobilization. Okay. Treasure chest number 4. 10 play points and a Rishkar's Expertise. And finally, 10 play points and a Heliod the Sun Crown. Wow. Okay. So he's 4 tickets. Not bad. We definitely beat the average here. So, yeah. As for the deck list, I still maintain that this is probably one of the best builds of Tron. After much refining, landing on this, Maze Mind Tome was excellent. Still, like, it's still great. Didn't have as good of a showing this time. We got lucky a few times, but also the only match we lost is because we got hellaciously unlucky. Like, we won game 1, game 2 we ran into some disruption, and we still assembled Tron. We just didn't draw anything else. We only drew Tron lands, which is really unlikely, and there may have been a play that I could have done to mitigate that, but I don't remember it now. So I can actually chalk that up to probably a misplay, but also it was unlucky. And game 3, we mauled to nothing and then had nothing. So, and that's going to happen sometimes. But that round 5 more than made up for it. The 1/1 Wurmcoil engine. Gotta love it. All right. Well, if y'all enjoyed this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. You can also follow me on Twitch, same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I hope to see you there. Thank you, everybody who's been coming over from YouTube and following the Twitch channel, and Logan Cole Rose for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. You're a wonderful human being, and every single dollar helps maintain this channel, because right now I receive no ad revenue. It is only through Twitch subscriptions and donations that I, offset any costs that are related to this channel, because everything else comes out of my own pocket. I'm just a hobbyist right now, and I'd like to do more in the future, but right now it's a hobby. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next stream, and you're all wonderful human beings. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!